Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another Monday Maple Musings, where we take a look at the MapleStory subreddit over the last week, and we see what's been popping. We just kind of hang out and we chit-chat. You and I, we're besties, you and I. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, join me for the microwave, the triple M, and let's do this shit, man. I don't know. I'm in a very good mood. I don't know. The patch... Okay, basically we're going to be talking about the patch. Because the patch is big. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I hope the patch is like the first thing here. There is some problems with the patch, obviously. I'll open up this thread here, but... Here's the patch notes, the actual patch notes. So let's do the actual patch notes first. So let's open this up here. If you're going to be hanging out, make sure you like the video, subscribe, dislike, engagement, all that good stuff. You know, bigger number, better person. Sorry, I always forget to do that sometimes. I don't always forget to do it, but I forget to do it sometimes. But basically, V264 patch notes, which is the big, super big, mega patch that we got. And it contains the large Korean update mixed with the large GMS exclusive update, and we didn't get some things from this update, which I will touch on after we kind of touch on the main features from this patch. Well, I guess, okay, one of the biggest features of this patch, obviously, is the new class, which is going to be Ren. Ren is basically what I would describe as KMS Hayato. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but as like a general sweeping statement, I think calling it the KMS version of Hayato is not too far off the mark, to be honest with you. But it's overall a very beautifully visual class. It just looks amazing. The VFX, mwah, it's so good. And it's like the new flagship class, I'm guessing, in the sense that like they made it specifically so it's like pretty simple to play, get people to play it, the new players, the returners, etc., etc. I think that was the idea behind it. Then the big GMS exclusive things. There's 3 different things here. You have the Star Force. Well, okay, I guess the Star Force revamp technically isn't new, or GMS exclusive, but it is new. But the Trace Restoration and the Star Force Research, these are the GMS exclusive systems, along with the familiar revamp. So first, I'll touch on my thoughts on the Star Force revamp. So, the Star Force revamp, if you're not aware, somehow, basically, KMS got this about, 6 months ago. That's how patch cycles work for us. So we knew this was coming, where Star Force equipment now goes up to a total of 30 stars maximum instead of 25 stars maximum. And you can see existing equipment gets transitioned over to the quote-unquote equivalent new star level. And what this means is it is the equivalent star level in terms of probability-ish. So pre-Star Force change, a 23-star item is equivalent-ish probability-wise to a 25-star item now. A 24-star item is equivalent to a 28-star, 25 is equal to about a 30-star, probability-wise. The reason they did this is very obvious, right? I shouldn't need to spell it out for you, but it's to allow more power past a certain point, and give you more reasons to either whale for more equipment copies, or just keep having a reason to tap items and progress your character, or give you more means to. I will note, however, that every additional star past 22 will only give you weapon magic attack. So it's not like you're getting the full value out of like a star, including like the main stat and everything. So it's definitely still, giving stat and worth doing in certain cases, especially on like a main character that you want to continue to push. It's not something that I think is going to be as easily accessible as I think some people were making it out to be, right? Like a 22-star full set of pitched is still going to beat out a 23, 24, 25-star set of like Golix or CRA. It's not even going to be close. I know a lot of people were in the rhetoric where it's like, oh yeah, 26-star CRA, who needs Eternals, shit like that. And it's just like, that's not really how it works. Also, even if it was how it works, hold on, let me do something here for y'all. Let me bring this up. The Starforce calculator. So if I were to do this, for example, a CRA item, let's say, I'm going to make this as totally, I guess, legit as possible. I guess let me swap to KMS because this update, this website hasn't quite been updated yet for GMS, JMSC to have the boom reduction. But we'll use KMS because KMS has the boom reduction, and this is like the good. So we'll pretend like we're on Shining Star Force, to give us the literal best case scenario to star a CRA item. We're not safeguarding to 25 stars. So that's going to be an average cost of 114 billion meso on Shining Star Force to get a 25-star CRA item. And the median is 80, but I always look at averages in this case because I'm more of an average-pilled enjoyer. And the average booms is 70, median is 48. And this, again, keep in mind, this is on Shining Star Force for a CRA item. This will not be better than Eternals. A 22 Eternal. Is a 22 Eternal still hard to get? Of course it is. Is this going to be meta? No, it's not going to be meta. It will not be meta. It will be an option, for sure. Meta? No. But I just want to illustrate just how expensive this shit is, even for the quote-unquote infinite items. I've been saying this for quite some time, but yeah. I think it's more relevant now since we literally just got the system. They also made it so items restore at slightly higher levels depending on when it gets boomed. So if you boom at 15 and 19, this trace restores to 12. If you boom at 20, it restores to 15. If it booms at 21 to 22, it restores to 17. If it booms at 25 to 23 to 25, it restores to 19. 26 to 30, it restores to 20. This really doesn't do too much. It just saves a little bit of meso and a little bit of time tapping. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on it, you know? There's also another big change that I definitely skipped over and I forgot to mention. You can safeguard up to 18 rather than 17 star now. And it's 200% the base meso cost if you safeguard. So you can safeguard shit up to 18. And the main thing about the change, obviously, is that you cannot lose stars anymore. The item will either succeed, do nothing, or boom. Those are the three options your item has. And you might look at these rates and be like, holy shit, a 17% boom rate? For 22? 12.75 for 21? These rates are insane. It was like 7% at 21 before. You would be correct. There's two things to keep in mind, though. One, the new 30% boom reduction event, which you basically need to wait to Star Force on, which kind of sucks. That event only applies up to, I believe, 22? It either applies up to 21 or up to 22. I don't remember. But I know it doesn't apply 22. At 22, excuse me. Regardless, you kind of need to wait for boom reduction events before you can Star Force. There's no such thing as off-eventing really anymore. Unless you're doing it on an item that basically has infinite copies. Because you will just boom significantly more. If you wait for the 30% reduction chance event, the average boom spare, whatever you want to call it, is like the exact same as pre-patch. So this is really just nothing but like a gain in my eyes, mentally, because it's not fun being in the fucking spin cycle hell that is 17, or I guess 15 to 20, it's miserable. Now, if you succeed, your shit will either explode or it'll go to the next level. I fuck with that heavy. Then the next big thing is the trace restoration system. I have a whole bunch of shit to say about the boss restoration missions. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the missions themselves, because while I do have many issues with the individual missions themselves, I think, for what it's worth, I could just choose not to do the shitty missions like fucking get hit by 20 strings. It's so stupid. But the thing that I really don't like is that you cannot attempt these missions in practice mode. For some reason, you have to do these in your real clear. Why? Why? Why is this like this? This is so stupid. Especially when the bosses doesn't have the boss list here. You have Lotus missions, Damien missions, Lucid missions, Will missions, Darknell missions, Bloom missions, Vihila missions, Slime missions, Black Mage missions, and Saren missions. You'll notice a couple of these bosses are a little bit different than the others. Notably, you have Saren, Black Mage, and Lotus. All of 3 of these bosses have an extreme version. You need to use your real clear. You can only solo it. I guess you're not doing extreme, or you're doing extreme Lotus and then soloing hard Saren and Black Mage. Or you are so invested into the game that you have mules that you can do these missions on, because I think the traces are account-wide. I don't know. I think this is so stupid, and so... I think stupid is the best way to word it. I don't think they were thinking when they did this. They clearly were thinking something, because they said it cannot be completed in practice mode. Like, they made this a criteria. But why? You can complete every other mission in practice mode in the game. Item burning challenges. Challenger world shit. You can do fucking the coin shop missions, like where you have to solo Extreme Lotus. You can do that in practice mode, and it counts. Why the fuck not this? The champion missions that we just had. You could do those in practice mode. They are literally the exact same things. Why can we not do this in practice mode? It is the dumbest thing ever. If they change this to be doable in practice mode, honestly, I hate some of the missions, and I think the missions are poorly designed. I would be fine with it. I'd be happy with it, even. As it stands now, every week I'm just going to be bitching about how I have to not do this shit in practice mode, and I have to throw away my Nightwalker's clears every week, basically. It's just, it fucks with the whole trading vibe and playing with friends vibe. I don't know, man. It really bums me out, because the system itself... But it's obviously better for it to exist than not exist, and of course I could just not interact with it, but giving up a trace restoration for an item that otherwise wouldn't be getting it is, like, really hard for me to do mentally. I'm gonna just be honest. That's for sure a mental gap, but it sucks, man. And I just make it doable in practice mode. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's it. And then the Starforce Research, which is Boss Pity. Oh no, Starforce Research is Boss Pity and the other way to restore traces. Okay. Because I was like, Starforce Research is the pity thing, right? Yeah. But it's also the boxes. So basically, this is 2 things in one. This is Pitched and Dawn Pity, and also an additional way to restore traces, just like the boss mission trace restoration thing. This, I have absolutely no complaints about. The spec boxes drop incredibly commonly. They're capped at 10 a day. I've finished it as fast as 20 minutes. I've finished it as slow as about an hour. It hasn't taken me longer than an hour to finish this, though, which I think is reasonable. Honest. I got no complaints. People have done the math on about how long this stuff will take on average to expect, but yeah. I do wonder if you can trace Restore Eternals. And the reason why I ask this is because the basic Star Core says level 200 or below equipment. The Dawn Star Core says Dawn Boss set equipment. But Eternals aren't Dawn Boss, right? They're Eternals. I wonder if you can do it. I'm sure somebody has figured this out at this point, but I don't know. Can you restore Eternals with this? I hope you can, because it would help me, since I'm working on my Eternals. If you can't, that'll be sad, kinda, low-key. I mean, realistically, I should probably prioritize pitched anyways, but... such is life. I want to finish my Eternals, man. And finish, I mean, equip my 3. That's what finishing Eternals are to me. Swapping out of my CRA. But basically, you get these 10 boxes a day. The boxes can contain either 1 to 3 regular star specs or a shining star spec. And you can see the breakdown of the things that you need here. You need 200 star specs to make a star core, and then to make a dawn core, you need 1 star core and 25 specs, or a pitched core is 1 star core plus 50 specs, shining star specs. So, it's a bit of grinding, but it's not that bad, honestly. I'm really surprised at how good this is. Truthfully. And the actual pitched itself is this stuff. So 65 crystals for a Dawn Boss set equipment, 130 crystals for any of the base pitched equipment, not including Total Control. For some reason, Mitra's is 260, and then for obvious reasons, I think the Genesis badge is 390. I don't know why Mitra's is 260. I mean, I guess it's a little bit better comparatively, sort of, not really. Because Willbook is unstarable, and it's in here. I don't know. I'm just sad that Mitra's is 260. It just seems kind of arbitrary. Considering Saren really isn't that much harder than, like, the C10 bosses. And all of my mules are fucking missing Mitra's, man. But anyways, it's fine. You get 1 pitched crystal per boss, and you also get 1 dawn crystal per boss. So you get, what is it? 8 per week, I think it is. I mean, here, let me look at my Nightwalker real quick. I'm tabbing into Maple. You can't see it. Yeah, I have 8 pitched Whisper crystals and 7 Dawn Whisper crystals, and I think I've done everything for the week on this character. So that's how much you can get per week. So honestly, it's not that bad. Honestly, it's so much better than I thought it was going to be. And especially when you keep in mind, like, combining all of these systems in tandem with each other. I'm not going to touch on the equipment rental thing, but I think the equipment rental stuff is pretty cool. I think it's definitely cool to be able to rent a Cont 4 and Roar 4, especially, and the totems are kind of cool too. I mean, just everything about it's kind of cool. I'm just going to scroll down for the familiar changes, and then I'll stop yapping, because I don't want to yap too long. Familiar revamp, though. Basically, the TLDR is cards stack up to 10,000. You can buy familiar bags. All presets are unlocked permanently. This is like the best change out of all of them. Well, the cards stack and the presets. They didn't improve the actual, like, process of leveling familiars, unfortunately, and they did add cash slots for, or familiar slots for NX Cash in the cash shop, but it's per character, unfortunately. If it was account-wide, I would buy a shitload of them, but per character is just too tedious. They need to expand the actual inventory itself and make the UI not so reliant on waiting for slow-ass animations to fill and level and do anything with the familiars. I mean, this shit still needs a lot of QOL, but they've made it a lot better, at least, thankfully. The inventory stack, the presets, all that shit. They also removed a bunch of useless lines. They still have a bunch of useless lines in the game, but at least they removed some of them, so... at least it's a little bit better. Oh, I will touch on this, actually. The chest changes is so good, because I would never go in portals before. Now I'm hitting chests that give me like a random 140 bill experience just randomly. That's so good. Like, are you kidding me? When a chest is open, a jewel will appear and picked up, give a large amount of XP based on the chest type and rank. Yeah, I'll fucking say 140 bill is fire. I don't even know if that's like the top one. But anyways, that'll be enough of the patch notes for now. The elephant in the room here, obviously, is they didn't mention the cash shop, the universal cash shop, which I'm kind of surprised, not in the sense that I don't think we'll get it, and I didn't think that they would do this, but I'm kind of surprised in the sense that if they weren't going to drop it with this patch, I would have assumed they would have communicated it beforehand, because I think they would have known a lot of people would be upset about it, and rightfully so. I do still think we're going to get it eventually, I just don't think we're getting it right now for some reason. Maybe that's just my gigacopium. Ultimately, to me, as someone who's played this game for as long as I have, not having the universal cash shop, it sucks, but it ultimately doesn't change how the game has been, and everything else in the patch is just QOL, so I can't really be that upset, given that nothing has changed and it's still the status quo, and I also want to believe that we will get it. I do think we will. But again, that could just be copium. 100%. I'm hitting the good shit. But yeah, we'll touch on this and then I'll leave you guys alone because I've been yapping for quite some time. But basically, they didn't add the Universal Cash Shop, and before NEXON intentionally left at the Universal Cash Shop so they can sell VAC Pet on Challenger World. I don't think that's why they did it. I think the main reason is I'm trying to think of how I want to word it, sorry. I know a lot of people get very upset when I like pause before I speak, and it's because I'm trying to think of the words that I want to say before I say it, rather than I just like spew bullshit and then be like, yep, that sounds good. I try to be kind of considerate of the words that I'm saying and choosing to say, and I don't like script any of these videos. My scripted videos are very obvious, I think. Like my Dawn Warrior video I made like a year ago, like that was obviously very scripted. Guide videos, etc. But these are just off the cuff, so when I pause, it's to try to figure out what I want to say in the correct way that I want to say it. I don't always get there, but I try. I think the reason, if anything, is likely pressure from NEXON Korea to not do it, because I think the idea is likely that since most of the player base is in Heroic, in our version of the game, I think the idea and the thinking behind it in Korea, from NEXON Korea at least, the big dogs, is if we have a universal cash shop, then sales will go down because less people will need to constantly be buying NX, PSSBs, etc., etc. But I think that's a short-sighted way to look at it. I mean, it could just be completely wrong, and they could be right, but I'm not sure there's a way to know without trying and seeing. But ultimately, I want to believe that's the reason why we didn't get it. Again, could be completely wrong. And we could just also never get it, but I want to believe, man. I want to fucking believe, man. Because these GMS-only changes are fucking amazing, truthfully. Aside from the boss restoration thing, which I have one very large problem with, and obviously multiple smaller problems with like the missions themselves, but those are like whatever. The patch itself is fucking insane, and I'm so happy. Like, Ren is amazing. Challenger World 2 feels really good. I was gonna say the patch has been mostly bug-free, but then I remembered the Moshwan fiasco. Aside from the Moshwan fiasco, the game has been honestly really playable, which is amazing for a patch like this. So I want to believe, because they're showing me there's meaning behind the shit that they say. But, yeah. I don't know. as always, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm going to stop yapping. I've already taken up quite a bit of your guys' time. Like the video if you like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thanking my YouTube members, It's Biscuits and your Diz, Remix My Life, I'm new, Food Level. You guys very, very much, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye!